Most people think that after 60 men stop wanting intimacy, but that belief is one of the greatest lies ever told about aging, love, and connection. And here's the part no one warns you about. A man's desire doesn't disappear, it simply becomes quieter. It becomes layered under pride, fear, vulnerability, and experiences he's never talked about. And if you don't know what to look for, you could be missing the exact moment he's trying to tell you, I need you, I want you, I still crave closeness with you. Let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed a man over 60 doing something strangely out of character? Like suddenly becoming extra helpful, suddenly lingering around you, or suddenly opening up emotionally, and you thought it was random? It wasn't. Men don't communicate desire the way they used to when they were 25 or even 40. They don't always flirt. They don't always reach out. They don't always initiate. Instead, they start sending signals, subtle, soft, almost invisible clues, because deep down they're trying to protect their ego, their masculinity, and their sense of worth. See, when a man crosses 60, two things happen. He becomes more aware of time and more afraid of rejection. So instead of saying, I need intimacy, he begins showing it through tiny behaviors that many women completely overlook. But those behaviors are actually coded messages, heartfelt, vulnerable, powerful messages that say, I want connection. I miss closeness. I still desire you, even if I don't know how to say it anymore. And today, I want to help you decode those messages. Because once you understand these 4 secret signals, you'll never miss another moment when your man is quietly reaching for you. When a man crosses 60, something shifts inside him, not in a dramatic, obvious, Hollywood kind of way, but in a quiet, deeply human way. He starts to think more about what he brings to the relationship, what he contributes, how he adds value. And when he feels that need for intimacy rising inside him, emotional, physical, romantic, he doesn't always express it with words or obvious gestures. Instead, he becomes helpful. Not the casual, everyday kind of helpful, but the kind that appears out of nowhere, almost like he suddenly woke up with a mission. This is the moment most women completely overlook. You may see him picking up the groceries before you even ask, fixing that cabinet door he ignored for months, offering to drive you somewhere when he usually prefers staying home. Or he might simply ask, do you need anything? In a tone that feels a little softer, a little more intentional than usual. It might seem small, but for him, this is huge. Because what he's really doing is trying to re-establish his role in your life. See, as men age, they become more aware of the ways society quietly tells them they're becoming less useful, less needed, less important. Their strength changes, their energy changes, their confidence shifts. And rather than verbally say, I want to feel close to you, they turn towards service. It's their way of proving both to you and to themselves that they still matter, that they're still capable of showing up for you, and that they still have something meaningful to offer. Helping becomes their safe way to reach out without risking rejection. To them, creating intimacy isn't always about physical closeness. It's about creating emotional safety first. And when he grabs the grocery bags out of your hands, or insists on repairing something, or checks the tire pressure on your car, what he's really saying is, I want to feel connected. I want you to see me. I hope you still appreciate me. I'm trying to open the door to closeness. The irony is, he may not even realize he's doing this. It's instinctive. It's how men who struggle to voice emotional needs try to communicate that they're craving you, not just physically, but emotionally too. And your reaction matters more than you think. When you say something as simple as, thank you, that means a lot. Or you rest your hand on his arm for a moment. Or you look at him with genuine appreciation, you're feeding a part of him that hasn't been fed in a long time. You're telling him he's still valued, still wanted, still relevant in your world. It's not about the groceries. It's not about the broken shelf. It's not about the ride he insists on giving you. It's about the connection he's trying to rebuild quietly. When he becomes helpful out of nowhere, Don't dismiss it as random behavior. It's not. It's a signal, a whisper, a request for closeness. It's him offering a piece of his heart disguised as a favor. And when you acknowledge it, you're not just thanking him, you're saying, I see you, and you still matter to me. When a man crosses 60, one of the most telling shifts in his desire for intimacy is the way he starts moving around you. Not necessarily touching you, not saying anything direct, but simply choosing to exist a little closer to where you are. It's subtle, so subtle that many women don't notice it at all. But for him, this is one of the safest ways to express a need he isn't entirely confident saying out loud. It might begin with something as simple as sitting on the same side of the couch instead of the opposite end like he normally would. Maybe he stands near you in the kitchen even when he has absolutely no reason to be there. He might wander into the room you're in, pretend to look for something, and then stay longer than necessary. Sometimes he doesn't say a word, he just lingers. He walks a little slower when he's beside you. He brushes past you a little more gently. He sits close enough for you to feel his presence, even if he isn't touching you. This is not an accident. For many men over 60, physical proximity becomes the bridge between emotional desire and physical intimacy. They're not always comfortable initiating something bold. Age changes things, not just physically, but emotionally. There's more fear of rejection, more awareness of vulnerability, and a fear of misreading the moment. So rather than saying, I want to be close to you, he lets his body language do the talking. He's testing something with every inch he moves closer. Is it safe to come near you? Do you still want me around? Do you still enjoy my presence? Do you still see me as someone you can feel close to? Men often fear that as they age, they become invisible. And the first place that fear shows up is in intimacy. Not just sexual intimacy, but simple closeness, touch, warmth, quiet moments. So when he tries to be physically near you, it's his way of quietly asking for reassurance that he still belongs in your personal space and in your heart. You might notice he suddenly chooses the chair next to you instead of the usual one across the room. Or when you're doing something, even folding laundry or watching TV, he enters the space and stays. Not because he needs anything, but because being near you makes him feel grounded. It makes him feel connected. It makes him feel relevant again. He may lean slightly closer when you talk, or he may walk behind you and gently brush past you. These tiny moments are his way of saying, I'm still here with you. I still want to feel close to you. This is intimacy in its simplest, purest form. And your response matters. A small smile, a gentle touch on his arm, a light-hearted comment like you're getting cozy today, or even just letting him stay near you without pulling away can mean the world to him. It tells him he's welcome. It tells him he's wanted. It tells him you feel safe with him. For a man over 60, that kind of affirmation is incredibly intimate. Because here's the truth. Closeness isn't just physical to him, it's emotional reassurance wrapped in body language. The man who moves closer isn't invading your space, he's inviting connection. His presence next to you is a quiet confession. He doesn't need a dramatic moment, he just needs you to feel him near you and not push him away. When he increases physical proximity, even subtly, it's one of the clearest signs that he's longing for intimacy. He may not say the words, he may not initiate anything bold, but in the soft gravity that pulls him toward your side, there is a message that says, I still choose you, I still want closeness with you, and this is the safest way I know how to ask for it. When a man reaches 60 and beyond, something happens inside him that he rarely talks about, even to himself. Life begins to look different. Time feels more precious. The future becomes less about ambition and more about meaning. And with that shift, his emotional world starts opening in ways it never did before. He may become more reflective, more sensitive, more expressive, not because he suddenly changed, but because he finally feels the weight of everything he has lived through. And when he starts showing more emotion than usual, it's not random. It's a quiet plea for intimacy, emotional intimacy, the kind that makes him feel seen, understood, and connected. He may begin bringing up old memories out of nowhere, stories from his childhood, regrets from his 30 seconds, moments he never shared before. He might tell you about a friend he lost touch with, or a fear he has about aging. You may notice he gets touched by things that never moved him before, a scene in a movie, a kind word, a moment of affection. Or maybe he simply talks more openly about his feelings, loneliness, worry, gratitude, longing. These moments are not emotional weakness, they are emotional openings. For most of his life, he probably learned to be strong, stable, and silent. Men of his generation were taught that feelings were inconvenient, even shameful. But with age, the layers he used to protect himself begin to soften. And when a man becomes more emotional, it means one thing: he trusts you deeply. He trusts you enough to let you see the parts of him he's hidden for decades. This is one of the biggest signs. He needs intimacy, not only physical closeness, but the emotional safety and bonding that make physical intimacy even possible. When he starts sharing more, he's really saying, I need connection, I need understanding, I need to feel close to you in a way I rarely allow myself to feel with anyone. Sometimes his emotions show up as vulnerability, talking about health concerns, worries about the future, or fears he never expressed. Other times, they show up as nostalgia, remembering the early days of your relationship, revisiting old photos, or telling stories that touched him long ago. And sometimes they show up in small emotional cracks, like tearing up unexpectedly or becoming quietly withdrawn before opening up later. This emotional shift also reflects something deeper. He is looking for reassurance that he is still loved, still valued, and still emotionally relevant in your life. Age can make a man question everything: his purpose, his masculinity, his desirability, his place in the world. And emotional openness becomes his way of reaching out, hoping you'll reach back. Your response plays a powerful role here. When you listen gently, hold his hand, allow him to talk without judgment, or simply say, I'm here, you give him something he may not have felt in years: comfort, being understood, being accepted. That is intimacy to him. On the other hand, if his emotional moments are ignored or shut down, he may retreat again, feeling like he reached out and fell through empty space. That fear alone keeps many older men silent for years. But when you welcome his emotions with warmth and presence, you build a bridge that leads him straight into the kind of closeness he truly wants, the kind that starts in the heart long before it ever reaches the bedroom. When a man becomes more emotional than usual, it is not a coincidence. It is him opening the door to deeper connection, hoping you'll step through it with him. It's one of the most powerful signs he's craving intimacy, and one of the most beautiful opportunities to give it. When a man reaches 60 and begins to crave intimacy, real intimacy, not just physical, but emotional, spiritual, soulful, one of the most revealing signs is the way he starts to reach out with small, innocent touches. These gestures aren't grand, they aren't bold, and they aren't meant to be seductive in the obvious way. They're gentle, cautious, almost fragile. And that's exactly why they matter so much. Because behind every tiny touch is a question he's too afraid to ask out loud. Do you still want me? You might notice he brushes a strand of hair away from your face, or when he walks by you, his hand lightly touches the small of your back. Maybe he rests his hand on your shoulder when he talks to you. He might reach for your hand when you're sitting together, something he didn't do before. Or he sits beside you and lets his leg rest against yours, but he doesn't pull away. These soft, innocent touches are not accidental. They are his way of reconnecting, but gently, carefully, respectfully. Age changes a man's confidence. What he used to express boldly when he was younger, he now expresses quietly, with subtlety, with hesitation. He doesn't want to make you uncomfortable. He doesn't want to assume anything. He doesn't want to risk misreading the moment. So instead of sweeping gestures, he uses tiny physical cues to test the waters. To him, these touches are not just physical, they are emotional invitations. Each one is a small step toward closeness, a soft signal that he's longing for connection but wants to know if you feel safe with him, if you welcome his presence, if the door to intimacy is still open. What's happening beneath the surface is profound. Many men fear that as they age, their desirability fades. They worry their partner no longer finds them attractive, or that physical closeness isn't something the relationship includes anymore. So when he reaches out with these delicate touches, he's really asking, am I still wanted? Am I still someone you enjoy being close to? And the beauty of these gestures is that they often happen in the most ordinary moments, while watching TV, while walking through the house, while sitting in the car. These moments are his way of saying, I'm here. I'm still connected to you. I still want to feel close. Your response to these touches can transform everything. If you lean into it even slightly, resting your hand on his, touching his arm back, or simply smiling, he feels safe. He feels reassured. He feels chosen. These tiny affirmations open the door to deeper connection, and they calm the insecurity he may never confess. On the other hand, if those touches go unnoticed or are brushed off, he may quietly retreat again, not out of anger, but out of fear that the intimacy he hoped for is no longer something you want. So when you feel his hand graze your back, or his fingers intertwine with yours, or his arm gently slide around you, understand the truth behind it. This is a man offering closeness in the softest, most vulnerable way he knows how. These innocent touches are not small. They are tender, meaningful, and deeply intimate. They are him reaching out, not just for your hand, but for your heart. They are a whisper of desire wrapped in gentleness. And more than anything, they are proof that even after 60, he still wants to feel connected, wanted, and seen by you. At the end of the day, intimacy after 60 isn't about age at all. It's about connection. It's about the small signals, the quiet moments, the tenderness he's too proud or too shy to put into words. Men don't stop needing closeness as they get older. They just start expressing it differently, softer, slower, with more meaning behind every gesture. So when you see him becoming more helpful, when he drifts a little closer to you, when his emotions rise to the surface, or when his fingertips find yours in those innocent little touches, don't ignore it. Don't brush it off. Don't assume it's nothing. These are his love letters without words. These are the ways he says, I still want you, I still choose you. And when you respond with warmth, when you recognize what he's trying to communicate, something beautiful happens. The connection you share becomes deeper, stronger, and more intimate than anything you built in your younger years. Because intimacy at this stage of life isn't rushed, it's cherished. It isn't loud, it's tender. It isn't about performance, it's about presence. So here's my challenge to you. Pay attention to the small signals. That's where the real desire is hidden. And if this message spoke to you, if you felt even one moment where you thought, this is us, this is him, then make sure you don't leave here without taking action. Like this video so we can help more people understand love at this stage of life. Subscribe for weekly insights that strengthen your relationship, no matter your age. And in the comments, share one signal you've seen in your partner. You never know, your story might help someone else reconnect with the person they love. Remember, love doesn't age. Connection doesn't expire. And intimacy doesn't disappear, it just whispers. You just have to listen.